What the hell is going on with Bitcoin? Well, it's just continuing the macro downtrend. Let's look at a weekly time frame. As you can see, it was in an uptrend here, making higher lows and higher highs. Then it had a significant divergence on the RSI, which was a showing of a slowing in momentum. And then it made a low and a lower high and a lower low. Now it has come back into a resistance point. For weeks, people thought maybe the bottom was in, and for good reason, because this bottom did line up with the previous bull market top. So that was a good thesis, and for people who took the trade around here, were able to capitalize quite a bit. So yeah, we went up for about 5 weeks, and the fair value gap on the weekly was the money. And I actually had this drawn up since the start of the year, since the decline to 60k. See the fair value gap there? Precision entry. But we also had confluence with the Fibonacci 0.618 from the high to the low. And we also had an anchored VWAP from the very top, which is a volume-based indicator. It takes into account the buying and selling volume and gives like an average break-even price. So a confluence of indicators, and we rejected. There were some other real-world fundamental things going on, which incentivized the bullish momentum and potentially accelerated the elevated down. So market at the moment, since Sunday, has absolutely fallen off a cliff. Now, it was quite obvious that the market structure had shifted. As you can see, we were in an upward channel here. We had a double top, touch the fair value gap. There was also some divergence on the momentum indicators. And then we started making lower highs and lower lows. And so if you were trying to long here, you were entering into low probability longs. If you were trying to short this, you were entering into low probability shorts. Unfortunately, I had a bit of a brain fart and did a few low probability longs around here and got wrecked. But on the Sunday, we come to this point here where we were in sort of a bear flag pattern, which in a downtrend is a continuation of trend pattern. And as soon as that broke, you can see on the 1 hour it gave you some entries. As soon as that broke, you could just put a risk to reward profile here and say, right, if it is invalidated, if it breaks the high, I will stop. It was the wrong decision, and it turned out to be a 10x. So like $100 risked is $1,000 profit. Okay, so where are we at now? On the weekly, we've come down, we've swept a major low. Now, think of it like this. Bitcoin's main objective is just to wreck as many people as possible. It's so volatile. And people don't use stop loss. There's lots of gambling mentality in this game. And the people who use a formula, good psychology, and manage risk, they are the ones that profit. So we've swept a low. We could sweep the other low, 59,800. If we do close large time frames below these lows, we will be going down from here further. If we do hold these large time frame lows as a sweep and close, we could come back up. My target for a dead cat sort of retrace, which I won't be longing, I'll be waiting for the short because we're in the macro downtrend, so shorts are probable. We have a fair value gap here, about 68k. We can also do a Fibonacci retrace from this top. Now we have a golden pocket zone around 70. 70 is a round number. So we'll do like the 70k for a short. And what you would do is, for the new traders that don't know about risk to reward, you would go, okay, I'll enter a short, I'll put a stop loss, and we'll trade again. And so there's other indicators as well. You can use USDT dominance. Now this is the stablecoin USDT, which most cryptos are traded against in leveraged markets and in spot markets as well. Surprisingly, it's been in an uptrend, and this bounce off the 0.618 Fibonacci actually signaled the top, or that fair value gap rejection. And so historically, it's at a resistance point. This would suggest that where Bitcoin's at the moment, it's more favorable for it to at least have a dead cat bounce than it is to continue from here. So that's one indicator to watch. I am eyeing off some long-term accumulative positions. So if you bought ETH up here in the mania at 4K or at 3K, you're underwater. But you want to take a risk of holding it when it's in a massive discount zone. There will be another irrational exuberant period, and they will pump it again. I'll start buying ETH here at 1700, 1800, and I'll keep buying it down to 14, and it could very well sweep this low here, that's for sure. But because I'm holding it with spot, I'm not at risk of liquidation, and if it does wick down there, it'll probably just wick back up. So that's one long-term token that I'm willing to hold. Lots of things are built on ETH. ETH is said to be the oil in the crypto industry. Another one is, so hype at all-time highs. No, I'm not accumulating it. I'd love to get it, maybe down here. Hype is a good project with a mechanism that rebuys the tokens from the exchange fees collected. So there is a decreasing supply mechanism. There is also sort of an expansionary supply mechanism to incentivize volume. So that's something to look into. But yeah, hype's a good one to get below $30. Zcash has real world use case because of its privacy functions on the Bitcoin network, the largest computer network in the world. So Zcash has a use case. I will buy it down here below 200. I won't be accumulating that anytime soon. Solana, very fast and cheap to use. Has a lot of meme coins being produced on it, like a casino, but it has a place in the new financial system. If it closes below this support, I would buy Solana and start accumulating. It's a good chance it does. If historical time horizons hold, Bitcoin will bottom around October. What else we got? So things like Fartcoin, I'd risk a small amount in. That tends to pump pretty good. Bitcoin Cash is my other one that I like. This is sort of a play against Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash is a fork of Bitcoin. Now it's actually more superior in terms of the speed of transactions. It can go a lot faster and it's a lot lower cost. It's on the Bitcoin network as well, so it shares the strength of the biggest decentralized network in the world. But my theory is once Wall Street and Saylor have all the Bitcoin locked up into the financial system, which is fundamentally a polar opposite to what Bitcoin was invented for, people are going to look for an alternative. And we have one, and it's more advanced, and it's Bitcoin Cash. Then they'll start locking up Bitcoin Cash in ETFs, and we'll flip to something else, but that could take decades. But again, it's in a historical discount zone where you can buy it $250 and it could go to $600. It's got the same supply mechanism, the same sort of mechanism as Bitcoin, but it's Bitcoin Cash. All right, thanks for listening. Trade safe, use a stop loss, and remember, this is a longevity type investment. Longevity investments are more favorable than quick gains.